Lovely to meet you. Thank you for joining me. The purpose of this call is for me really just to congratulate you because I believe you've passed everything. Awesome. And just to, have a informal chat about, excuse me, what worked um, and if with your permission we could use some of it as a testimonial, that'd be amazing. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
happy with that. So, yeah.
Great. So, Kathleen, tell me a little bit about uh, what you've succeeded with. I believe is it the Met Police that you succeeded with?
Yes, in
The
that case, so the fast track detective program. So,
detective
past
program.
final stage
Yeah.
to bolt on recently, and I've got my fitness test tomorrow.
Oh,
And
wow. So it's all happening very quickly.
yeah, which I'm glad about because I know sometimes, well, in the past for other people that I know were successful, it took quite a while. So, hopefully, you can just get the ball rolling, really.
Yeah, I think forces at the moment are a bit worried about their budgets because of Keir Starmer, especially yesterday, announcing that there's a big black hole in the public finances, and the only way to plug that is more taxes and cuts to public services. So, but the Met, I think you're in a safe place with the Met because they are short of officers still. It's the only force that's still short of officers. So, I think you're in a safe place there.
Okay.
So, well done, and very exciting. I've got to say, the Met detective process is one of the hardest assessment processes out there. So, how are you feeling now you've succeeded?
Yeah, really happy actually. I'm really looking forward to it because I think it'll be a great career. Sorry. But yeah, thank you for your courses as well. I feel like that was really critical in passing, just in terms of the preparation and the structure that I was really looking for. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you again. So for putting that together, because I know that was obviously a lot of work in terms of recording and all the prep. And yeah, no, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for joining us. So, let's roll back if we can to before you joined us. So, um, how are you feeling about the bolt-on before you actually joined us?
So it was my second attempt at the bolt-on assessment. So I had it first time last year in February, and then this was my second attempt. But I felt a lot more confident. I think just the key is preparation, as it's quite a unique interview in which they're looking for certain points to be ticked off, and they're looking for particular things. And unless you can sort of think like a police officer, then it would be quite a struggle to get through. So I feel like unless someone has someone very like in the immediate, maybe their family or very close friend who's in the police force, it would be quite difficult to get through. Not saying it's impossible, but yeah, the course really did help me. Yeah, just in terms of say the techniques to follow, like IO March and could surf for the role plays. So yeah, they were useful.
Awesome. So that's really good to hear. So before you actually joined us, then you'd already done it once before and failed.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
So they didn't provide feedback in terms of what specifically didn't go well. So I just thought I had to work on all aspects, which I did, which the course obviously did support with.
Yeah, brilliant. So after you'd failed it the first time and before you came to join us, how were you feeling about resitting the bolt on again?
I just knew that I sort of had to change my approach. That there was a sort of definitely a structure that I needed to follow, but I just wasn't aware. Um,
Mm.
how to sort of do that. So I thought just speaking to people who'd been in the force and finding like a really good course would help.
Hmm.
So it's kind of I had the knowledge but didn't really have the confidence necessary to get through. So just because it's
Yeah.
quite a long process, I think the final interview is 5 hours, so it's quite high pressure final stage, I think.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you're saying about, they'll tell you that you don't need to have any knowledge of policing to be able to do the bolt on. Um, And then you just mentioned, actually, there's a fair bit of policing knowledge needed, unless you have anyone close to you who's in the policing world, you're going to struggle a bit. So, what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm always puzzled, really. They tell you don't have to have any knowledge of policing, and then they give you this quite intense exercise to do for the briefing, and a lot of intense exercises to do for the written. So, what are your thoughts on that, Kathleen?
I'd say, well, I would disagree. You really need to do your research, and I feel as though they do that on purpose. They look for people who are definitely prepared and have done. their research and want to be police officers, so would kind of know what is in the job entails. So I feel like that's slightly misleading. You need to have knowledge of policing, but that is provided in your course in terms of what resources to read and how to prepare yourself and have that mindset of being a police officer, because it's like the final stage is almost, it gets you into you're already sort of acting as one, so they're looking for a person who would, how you would behave in that scenario, because they give real life sort of or simulated police scenarios, so you have to have that mindset already, and I don't think you can do that without any sort of prior knowledge. So yeah, again, it's something that you have to, just in terms of, say, current affairs, just be aware of as well.
Yeah.
What's going on. So
Awesome. So you joined us, came to join us. Fantastic. We're so pleased that we have you on board. How did you find the process of working with your coach, Raj?
Yeah, Raj was really, really helpful. So eternally grateful for Raj and his time as well. So yeah, because I had quite a short time frame in which I had to prepare for it. So I think I had 2 weeks. So working full time, then coming back home, doing the course, spending weekends on the course. So pretty much all my weekends were just doing the course, speaking to Raj. But yeah, he was really good in terms of flexibility and yeah, just giving me that confidence that I can actually do it. So yeah, and of course his experience in police is very extensive, so he would sort of, you know, guide me in a way in which my answers would be good, bad, and just yeah, just really good coach. Essentially, one time he was slightly unwell and he still took my coaching session, so the one-to-ones were really, really helpful.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, he's amazing, Raj. We're very, very pleased to have him on the team. So that sounds good. So what would you say is the one thing then that really made the difference? If there was one thing you could put your finger on, what would that be?
In the difference in terms of, I think, yeah, genuinely, because I think the thing I kept mentioning sort of in my initial introductory call was just having that structure and the processes, I think really helped, because that would be, I don't think that's something that you can naturally learn. It's something you have to, it's something you have to sort of study and in a sort of academic way. So I think that would help. That helped a lot, the structure, in terms of yeah, the techniques, I march, and just how to think like a police officer. That really helped. And the coaching was great in terms of simulating the real life interviews. So having that practice as well. So I needed to speak to someone, say, who had been in the force. So I didn't really have that sort of access. So having to be able to practice, say, the briefing or my answers was really, really helpful. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things you don't know what you don't know, do you? So, you know, if you don't know there's things like II March and the Eisenhower matrix and ways to prioritize, if you don't know that those things exist, how do you know where to find them? And that's the thing that I find puzzling about a lot of the police recruitment processes. Awesome, brilliant. So now you've succeeded. What would you, if you were speaking to someone who is in the same situation you were like a few months ago, like not knowing what to do, not knowing where to get that support, not knowing what was required, what's the one message that you'd give them?
I would certainly point them towards your course, the Bluelight course, and tell them they must thoroughly prepare in every single stage and make sure to follow a structure. So the Eisenhower matrix, I think, was critical in terms of just knowing the priorities and that they would just need to follow a method for each stage. That you can't go in as they say, without prior knowledge. You need to know what's happening with the police force, what their priorities are, say the 2-year plan. You need to know these things. So yeah, definitely have, I'd say maybe a few months to even prepare.
Yeah, you did it in 2 weeks, but you'd already done it before, so you had a bit of an advantage, so you knew what to expect. Sounds like what you're saying there is you're very much you'd advise them to follow the guidance I always give is that you've got to plan, you've got to prepare, you've got to practice. There's no magic bullet, is there? There's no sort of, we can't transfer knowledge over. You've just got to get stuck in. And it sounds like for 2 weeks you just did that. You just got stuck in, you prepared, you practiced, and it paid off. Yeah, good
Yes.
job.
Recommending your course, just that would ensure all the confidence at the final stage, because I think that's half of it, just being confident in your own ability as well. So,
Yeah, brilliant, awesome. Well, listen, Kathleen, that's great talking to you and catching up. I've got some good news and bad news for you actually now. So which one would you like first?
got to be the bad news first.
Bad news first. Well, the bad news is you're stuck with us for a long time now. So you're one of our Bluelight alumni. So, you know, if you're ever stuck or if you're ever not sure about anything, you know, you can always reach out to us. Um, Raj would be delighted to jump on a call with you. If he's not available, I'll jump on a call with you. You know, you're stuck with us forever now. Do you want the good news?
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
bad news sounds like good news. So
Yeah, you're stuck with us forever. That's the good news. Sorry, but being a bit corny there, but no, seriously, if you know you've done the hard work with us, you've invested your time, your effort, your energy, and you know you'll have got to know Raj. So hopefully it's not a goodbye forever. You know, we've got a lot of plans for our alumni so that we can help you through your career and make sure that you completely smash it and achieve all your dreams. Because once you're in the police service, you'll discover that actually things aren't handed to you on a silver platter. And it's the same thing. You might be going for a specialist position, and sometimes you need that edge. And so we'll be there to help provide that edge for you to make sure that whichever specialist position you go for, or promotion, or wherever it might be, we'll be there for you to help support you. Collectively, as a team, we've got over 150 years worth of experience in policing, and we've got some amazing individuals on the team. So yeah, you'll get a lot of support from Enforce, but in terms of designing your career, yeah, we'll be there for you. And if you're stuck on anything at all, if there's ever a time where you think, I've really got a conundrum here and I don't know who to turn to, which will probably happen, you know, because policing is full of challenging conundrums. But if you're ever at that position and you're thinking, I really don't know who to approach and I'm not comfortable speaking to my sergeant or wherever it might be, then we're here. We're here. So how's that feel, knowing that we're there for you?
that sounds pretty amazing, to be honest. Yeah, it was like a support network I was looking for, just because of the nature of policing and how challenging it is. So I appreciate that there's like mentorship like
Yeah.
available as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
And we mean it really seriously. You know, I absolutely mean it. If it's like 2 years' time, you might have to nudge me or Raj and just say, do you remember me? But, you know, once you've jogged our memories, we will remember you and we'll be there for you. Definitely. Well, listen, Kathleen, it's lovely to meet you. And I'm not going to wish you luck. You might know my thoughts on luck, that if you feel as though you need luck, you've not planned, prepared, or practiced enough. So the same sort of ethos moving into your career will carry on. But what I will wish you is success, and you know, the hard work that you put into it will pay off, and you'll have an awesome career. It is the best job in the world. I know I'm biased, but best job in the world. So, Kathleen, enjoy your career and like squeeze everything out of it that you possibly can, and I'm sure you'll have an amazing time. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you very much.
All
Thanks.
right, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.